Today I'm carrying out a full service on the Nissan Navara D40 2.5 DCi. With the full service kit, oil, air, fuel, cabin, sump plug and 5W30 C4 oil. So this was a little bit more expensive than the C3. I can't find the receipt right now, but I think this totaled around £160 because the oil capacity is 6.9 litres, so I bought two 5 litre. So we'll start with the oil and filter. Off to a good start because the under tray doesn't need removing, and we've got a decent amount of ground clearance, so you could possibly do this by just parking on a curb or even without from the side. But anyway, we've got a 14mm sump plug. And the oil you can see on this is when the previous oil filter has been done. It's obviously not been cleaned off properly. This is quite tight. Oh. Yeah, it does just miss the under tray, so we'll leave that draining out as long as possible. So while we're letting the oil drain out, we can get on with the oil filter, which you may be wondering where it is. It's quite well concealed down the back left of the engine below the fuel filter, and it's the screw type, which are great when they've not been over tightened, but an absolute nightmare, especially in a position like this when they have been tightened too much. This is appropriately loose. I think it's probably been done recently. I'm sorry I can't get a better view of it. Well, due to the orientation, the oil will just leak straight down the side of the engine, unfortunately. So you will need to clean it up afterwards. Just enough room to lift it up through the gap, and then check the new filter is correct. Place it against the old filter just to oil the seal, the new seal. And then feed the new filter into position and start to tighten. So these filters, you can get torque figures for them, but generally speaking, tighten it, spin it on until it's touching, so the seal is touching the metal, and then all you've got to do is tighten it another 3/4 of a turn, and that's typically tight enough for these types of filters. Oh, I have long thread. Right, so now that the seal's touching now, I'm gonna try to go another 3/4 of a turn. I'm struggling. You see the old filter was also Mann, and you'll see here 3/4 of a turn is the required torque. Start giving the side of an engine a clean, so we don't have oil running down the side of it like we had before. There's still a little bit of oil draining out, so before I refit the sump plug and top up the oil, I'm going to quickly do the air filter. Air box is on the right hand side of the engine bay, and I've got these quick clips securing it in position. If there's any debris in the airbox, I'll take it out or get a vacuum cleaner in there. Pretty good condition, so this was clearly quite recently serviced, at least with the Mann parts exactly the same as I use. It's not bad. Feed the new air filter in. And make sure that the seal is seated correctly. You find that these clips try to fold in. Just make sure that they're all out. Yeah, they're all out. And then I don't think it matters where you start. Not so easy, that one, to get to. There we go. That's the air filter done. The oil's pretty much stopped draining out now. I don't know why this new sump plug comes with two different types of washer. This one doesn't even fit, so I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be. I'll try with that one. Refit and tighten to 34 Newton meters. And then give it all a clean off. Now to top up the oil, you fill a cap middle of the engine. Oh, tight. .9 litre capacity, so we can chuck a full 5 litre straight in. check it is going in without overflowing anywhere. So I put about 6.5 litres in, maybe 6.7 litres, and then run the engine for a few minutes before checking the level. So I put about 6.7, 6.8 litres in, refit the filler cap and run the engine for a few minutes. Oil pressure light gone off, while the oil circulated. Just quickly check you haven't got any leaks. Nothing appears to be leaking. Success if there aren't any signs of leaks. That's great. That oil that you can see there is residual from draining the filter. So we'll switch the engine off. I'll have to drop it down onto a flat surface and then switch the engine off for 10 minutes before checking the level. Check the level on the dipstick. First time, pull it out, wipe off the oil. Second time, get a reading. So, see here, it's up to about there. So we can top it up, 100 mil probably, and we should be at the max mark. Moving on to the fuel filter. I know these can have a lot of issues or be quite temperamental when the fuel filter is failing. I was having a cold start issue with it cutting out, and I've now replaced the glow plug relay, but prior to that I did replace the fuel filter, as it's a common issue. So apologies if on this car it's deceptively easy for me to remove all these pipes, as I only changed this a few hundred miles ago. 4 connections to the fuel filter. I don't know whether all these pipes are original, but I did put some grease on the outside of them just to make it easier in the future. You can either use a crosshead screwdriver or an 8mm socket to undo these. Surprisingly stubborn considering I only did them recently. So now we've got the pipes removed. There's a 10mm bolt. So now you've got all the pipes off, you've just got a 10mm bolt down the back here. Now this does need removing completely because of the water drain at the bottom of the filter. I have to take the bolt out completely. Lift the old filter out and drop the new filter in and close this back up and tighten. So what I'd do now, if I hadn't already last time, is I would just put a bit of grease around here. So nowhere near the ends where it can go in with the fuel. But this just makes it so much easier next time you have to change the filter. I'll tighten all the clips. And now you can prime the pump. There's a primer underneath. It's not hard to show. Yeah, that thing there, just squeeze it until hopefully it'll go hard and you won't be able to press it when it's full of fuel. You might be able to hear the air coming out of the filter. Now I'm going to start the engine. When it starts up, it's good to rev it up straight away, which sometimes manages to expel the air before it cuts out. Seems to be alright. Just check for any signs of leaks. All looks good. It looks like the priming stopped it from holding any air, cutting out. Finally, we've got the cabin filter in the passenger footwell. Just excuse the dog ears. So the instructions in the kit say to remove this completely, but I found you can actually pull it back enough to remove this piece of plastic above. So this thing needs to remove this just to access this screw here, and then remove 2 more screws at the bottom and 2 screws at the top. And with the screws removed, and drop the glove box down, and the cabin filter is located here. So 8mm bolt to remove. Doesn't look like they serviced the cabin filter. Everything else has been serviced, but not this. And yeah, as expected, there are 2, but I've only been provided with 1, so that's great. Look at the state of it as well. So yeah, basically, yeah, note obviously the direction of the airflow is down. You can see by the debris on there. So airflow down. Push the first filter in. And then across. And I suppose I'm gonna have to pick the gonna have to refit one of these until I can get one tomorrow, or not drive the car until tomorrow. But yeah, refitting is obviously the reversal removal, but I'm in a position here where I can't really do it. It's Sunday night, so I won't be able to get a filter today. But yeah, that's how you do the cabin filter. I'll probably just put it back together loose until tomorrow. Just realised as well, these filters have been fitted the wrong way around. So you see how all the debris is on this side. Direction of airflow, opposite way. So, been fitted the wrong way around. Thanks for watching. I do hope this video has helped. If it has, please do leave a comment. For more videos on this car and many others, do check out my channel. Thank you.